and welcome to Getting Your Money's Worth, the show that focuses on value. I'm Judith West, and our guest today is Harriet Taub, Executive Director of Material for the Arts. It's a good title.
Thanks.
Executive Director of Material for the Arts. So before we get into our topic, please tell me, what is Material for the Arts?
Well, Materials for the Arts is a program of the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, and we've been around since 1978, and basically we're a reuse program.
A what?
A reuse program.
What is that?
That supports the arts and cultural community. So reuse is...
Reuse, R-E-U-S-E, reuse.
Exactly, reuse,
okay.
Reuse program.
The same thing as recycle?
Well, it's a little different than recycling, but recycling, you know, you take a glass and it has to get crushed up and made into another glass. But reuse is especially what we do, we call it creative reuse. We take donations from businesses and individuals across the New York City area, anything from furniture, computers, fabric, buttons, bows, and we bring all these things together to this warehouse in Long Island City, and we make these items available for free to not-for-profit arts and cultural organizations in New York City and our public schools.
Right. Well, so you mean, so anything that's usable or reusable, no matter what the commodity is,
can have a purpose.
Can have a home.
Absolutely. So here's the thing that we don't take food, we don't take beds and bedding, we don't take dangerous chemicals. But for example, if
clothes
we try not to take unless they are what we call costumes.
Oh, okay.
You know, things that could be costumes, because there are other
Halloween costumes
that we would take.
Yeah.
But there are other organizations. Look, we're not the only organization that does this. Goodwill is a reuse organization, and Salvation Army. But we serve, because we serve the arts and cultural community and the public schools, and they can access the things in our warehouse for free. You know, we have a very broad swath of things. So we'll take furniture, a filing cabinet, for example. If you're a theater company and you need to house your papers, why spend money on a filing cabinet when you can get a used one for free? Right. Put your money into programs, put your money into your plays.
And the filing cabinet can be a place for creative graffiti.
I guess that's true. I guess that's true.
So, okay, so I really like the idea of what you do, because for one thing, you also are somehow involved with the Department of Education.
Yes.
So will you tell me about that piece a little bit?
Absolutely. So the Materials for the Arts program has been around, as I said, since '78 under the aegis of the Department of Cultural Affairs. And in 1990, the Department of Sanitation realized, oh, these people are really doing something very good for the environment, keeping things from going into the landfill, so we'll support them as well. And in 1997, the Department of Education joined forces with Materials for the Arts, giving us some funding to allow teachers to come in and access the materials. So we are now, after, I guess it's about 13, 14 years, we're the largest provider of materials to the New York City public schools.
It's amazing. So you are almost like an ad hoc division of the arts programs in schools, of which there is unfortunately a paucity of art in public schools.
Well, what's happened is that over the years, as you know, and has been notarized, you know, a lot, arts are the first thing to go. You know, the things that really, unfortunately, and we all know, if we are believers in the arts, and I'm a former art educator myself, that, you know, the arts are the things that really reach so many students in so many ways, and you can learn so much from the arts. So, you know, we want to support our teachers in our public schools by giving them access to free materials. So if they have a limited budget, don't worry about buying X or Y, come to Materials for the Arts, and also be surprised by the kinds of things that we have.
I was interested to read that you know, the teachers come, and going back to your other statement just for a minute, after all, there are lots of kids that only start to learn and have the fun of learning through the arts.
Absolutely.
You know, but teachers can come. It's kind of like a lottery, or like a surprise bag.
Right.
And from what they see, they can develop projects.
Exactly.
For their classroom.
So
you must have, tell us.
So what we've done over the years is that when I first started, we were basically this operation. I started in 1998.
Well, you have things on shelves. How do you display it?
We have things on shelves. We have things in bins. We have, you know, it depends on how it comes in boxes. I mean, we have fabric laid out in rolls or in pieces on shelving. I mean, it's quite something to see.
Something. I have to come out.
You should come.
Yeah, I'm a retailer. Also,
oh yes, yes, yes.
So I must come out and.
And we try to actually display things in a way like the lost leaders on the
I used to be at the NCAP program or something. Right.
We want to make sure that people can see the things and really look at them and try to understand what they can do with them. So what we did over the course of the last 10 years is we started an education program. And what that means is people could come in, but they often would look at the things and say, what do I do with this? Some industrial discard, for example, or, oh, I see you've got 20,000 buttons, but what would I do with that? So we realized early on that if we could train people, if we could show them and educate them on how to use particular materials that they'd find in our warehouse, not tempera paint, not the kinds of things you'd normally find in an art store, but things you'd normally find in our warehouse. So we started by doing classes, and over the years it's grown, and we have now a full year-round education program. We have professional development for teachers. We have students. There was a field trip today coming in.
So who leads these programs?
We have
volunteers?
We have a director of education that's on our city payroll. We also have, through our not-for-profit, we started a not-for-profit back in 2002 called Friends of Materials for the Arts.
Friends of?
Friends of. And we raise money through that to support the education program. So our teaching artists are paid through that, and we have wonderful teaching artist staff.
Oh, I'm sure.
Occasionally we have volunteers who want to help us, but we have curriculum that we have written. We work very closely with the Department of Education.
Yeah. I was going to say, this has the imprimatur of the approval of the Department of Education.
It does. Right. And some of our classes, if teachers sign up for these classes, they can get what they call P credits, which is towards a salary increase. So we have to do things right. So we work to the standards, the art standards for the state, the art standards for the city. And we're very excited about that program because once people learn how to use these alternative materials, they can come into the warehouse and they can see
and the fallout from the teachers who come and then their peers who see them come.
Absolutely.
I mean, it spreads.
It spreads throughout the school.
You guys are like an ad hoc division of the arts for schools.
Well, we feel that our relationship with the Department of Education is very key, and we want to continue to serve our teachers in any way we can.
Right, it's amazing. So tell me something. How do the people who come to the warehouse get what they pick out to their location? They have to hire their own truck?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, what we do is we offer a free pickup service depending upon the sort of quantity and quality of the items for donors. So, for example, if a business is going out of business and has 50 boxes of widgets, for example, or 50 boxes of buttons or beads or whatever, we can arrange to pick that up. We provide that service. But on the other end, we have what we call shopping days, which are 2 days a week when we're open for our groups to come in. They make appointments. We have an online system so they can go online and make appointments. And when they come in, it's really sort of like supermarket sweep. I mean, they come in, they get a sheet, and they get a cart. And they go up and down the aisle.
Right.
And it's pretty funny.
It must be funny.
It is funny. And, sometimes there's sort of some, is that mine? No, that's mine. But we try to always say, listen, share.
Yeah. And you must have regulars that come frequently.
We do. We have over 4,000 organizations that are members.
4,000?
4,000.
Oh, my
And
gosh.
that includes, the 14...
What else besides the schools?
Any not-for-profit theater company, dance company, social service organizations that have art therapy, so the hospitals, city agencies, the Department of Juvenile Justice, which is now... Department of ACS. We serve Department of Aging.
You must serve such a wide audience.
Right. Every time when we have a shopping day, I look at the list of people that are coming. We can serve up to about 65 groups in the 3 or 4 hour period. So there's a lot going on.
Yeah, you have a lot going on at one time.
And I'm always amazed. It's, from Dance Theater
Do people
Harlem,
sign out for what they pick up? Do you have some kind of a
we
record keeping?
We have a record. We have a very tight inventory system. So
I hope you don't have any security problems.
No, we don't.
No shoplifting?
No shoplifting. It's for free, right? So there's
exactly.
no shoplifting. But people wind up leaving with what we call an invoice. It's really a receipt. And the one thing that they have to do is that they have to send thank you letters to the people who made the donations.
That's fine. Do you ever see any of the products that are
absolutely
produced from your inventory?
Absolutely. We get invited very often to come to a theater production, and they'll say, every single thing in this production is from Materials for the Arts. And
wow.
It's quite astounding. And the kinds of things that people have access to, for example, if you were thinking of doing your play and dressing your set, and you said, oh, I'd like to have a bolt of fabric, running down the center of the aisle, 50 feet. Well, 50 feet at $20 a foot is going to cost you. Who's going to do that? But when you can come to Materials for the Arts and get that for free.
Can you get that quantity?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
so the kinds of donors we have, Chanel donates, and Estee Lauder donates, and Victoria's Secret, and on and on and on, to small, just to individuals like you or me.
I'm in a business with my husband, which is one of them is manufacturing dog beds, pet beds. So I'm thinking now of all that Velux fabric, those scraps that we have collected, and we're going to shred. I'm thinking, well, I'm not, I'll have to look at them again and give them to you.
Right. Well, we have some parameters. We don't usually take fabric that's less than 18 inches because the small pieces are hard to use.
But I was thinking of making some kind of a patchwork.
Absolutely. We have a lot of people that are doing that.
Right. Well, how did you get into this, Harriet?
I was a former art teacher, and I went into the children's clothing business when my kids were small, and I was manufacturing. And by the time my kids were a little bit older, the economy was such that everybody was moving their manufacturing to China, which is something that has happened, or overseas, whether it was China or whether it was the Caribbean.
In this country has become an endangered species.
It has. So I was working for myself, and a friend introduced me to my predecessor, Susan Glass, who was the director at Materials for the Arts, when they were just hiring someone to run the education program. So I came in to do that, and I started to get schools registered and get schools sort of up and running and excited about the program.
And your warehouse is in Long Island City. Well, that's bustling art community unto itself.
Yes. Yes, when we moved into Long Island City in 2001, early 2001, and we were really welcomed by everybody that was there. There's a lot of great people there in the arts, and the community has grown since we moved in.
Right. And you have, how many? 35,000 square feet?
35,000 square feet.
Wow, and it's full?
It's pretty full. You'd be surprised. It's pretty full. We have classrooms and offices and then we have this large warehouse area where everything is out. And then we have a processing room, because when things come in, we weigh them.
Do you inventory things in?
We inventory everything, and we weigh things, so we let the Department of Sanitation know how much we keep out of the landfills.
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
So on an average year, like last year, we kept out about 1.2 million pounds of goods.
1.2 million pounds.
And then valued at about $5.5 million.
That's what you kept out?
That's what we kept out.
Right. And imagine how much of that, what's the turnover?
It's an interesting question. Some things, literally, you put them out, and like the next shopping day, they are gone.
When retail, we used to say in retail that item's on fire.
On fire, exactly. Right. And we have some of that. And there are things that generally there are some things that are just like a dented filing cabinet that just might stay forever and ever, because, if you're going to choose between the undented and the dented, we know which one you're going to take.
And especially when they're both free.
Right, exactly. But we generally think that within a month, we have like 75% of the inventory is kind of moving on a monthly basis.
Well, you do better than a lot of retailers.
Yeah,
yeah. I think your program is marvelous, aside from just sounding like a lot of fun, too.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And also, the opportunity it presents for kids. They're the biggest benefactors.
If we can teach them now about reusing and recycling, the two really important things, they're not going to be as throwaway as we've been.
Right, and with this kind of economy, they need to learn.
They need to learn.
Right. Anyway, thank you so much for being on the show.
My pleasure.
I enjoyed that. I'm going to come visit you.
Thanks.
I appreciate your coming here. You're watching Getting Your Money's Worth. I'm Judith West, and our guest is Harriet Taub, Executive Director of Material for the Arts. Thanks for watching.